good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Upshare, on the show this evening is Mo, Larry and Curly. Bridgeman and Curly. How we doing, lads?
Curly. Very good. Very good. The Stooges.
I am good, Ox. Good evening, everyone.
Aye, no bad, Ox. Good evening to everyone listening in this evening.
Oh, wait a minute, I thought Bridge was getting his wallet out there, Southside. We're waiting for Big Stevie to join us tonight, but he's out for his Halloween, Southside.
Is he looking for pies?
How are you, Billy?
I'm smashing, Ox, mate. Aye, good, mate. I'm good. Looking forward to the show tonight, pal.
You're learning the show's better before the show. How are we doing, Bridge?
Wonderful, thank you very much. Really happy to hear from you, and thankfully we've got some sensible people on the panel tonight, so it makes a difference. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans listening in on here on Rangers Radio, welcome to Rangers Radio. Good night.
How are you, Southside Milker?
Aye, good, mate. Aye, good.
Good. Right, who wants to go first? Anybody? Who wants to go first? Bridgeman, happy bear?
Very happy. Marvellous performance by the team. And a few people in the team as well played very well. I thought Cole had a good game, which is really good. And Kent seems to have woken up with whatever daisy dream he was in. He put a good shift in. Great through the team and say the same thing, you know. Apart from the goal that went in, and that was it, you know. They actually offered no real threat. Thought Rangers were on top of the grass, on the front foot, and away they went. What a difference.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Out of the piece, Billy, I didn't think there was any failures, if I've been honest. You've got to be fair. We criticise when we don't think we play well, but I don't think there was any failures on Saturday, was there?
No, there wasn't, Ox. But it's good getting constructive criticism, but mate, I thought it was a great all-round team performance. I thought Sakala was superb along with Tillman. I thought Lundstrom was great in the middle of the park, mate. I thought he ran the show, buddy. He was more direct with his passing. I thought Big Kolach was superb as well, mate. His link-up play was different class, mate. It's getting better and better as the weeks go by. Pass marks all over the park, to be honest with you, Ox. It was a massive difference, mate, team-wise. Individually and collectively, we were superb, mate. We ran out worthy withers. It was very comfortable in the end, mate, because in my opinion, mate, it was 4 going on 10 on another day, mate. A great 3 points, so it was.
Aye, in the circumstances, Southside, it was a good result and a good performance. I'll say to you, mate, domestically, arguably our best performance under Gio.
Aye, probably for a long time. You'd need to maybe even the best, as you say. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a good start, good intensity, good forward passing, players willing to run and help and support. And even when we got the wee setback against the run of play, I thought we kept doing what we were doing before it. We created nearly another wee chance, and then we obviously got the goal back, Ox. And I thought we'd done the right things that we've all been hoping that the team would do: get a bit of tempo and get a bit of forward passing and a bit of inventiveness. And I think we got a lot of that. And we certainly got a team performance for the 90 minutes.
I gave Sands man of the match. I thought entertainment-wise, Sakala was the entertainer of the match, but I thought Sands' all-round display, covering 2 positions, just edged it for me.
I thought Sands in the centre mid beside Lundstrom looked really good. Thought he did the work that we thought he would probably do: get in, win the ball, challenge, give you some legs, and then try and make good use of the ball when he hit it. And I thought he gave us all that on Saturday, to be honest, especially in the first half. So I thought it was a good performance. It's something that we've hoped that we would maybe see him go in and play in time in the midfield, and especially in Scotland. It should be. We'd like to see him maybe if he's staying in there going forward, Ox, playing up to that sort of standard. I think he's watched Ryan Jack play that role He's been there at the club for long enough. He can watch it when he's playing centre back. So he's got a good understanding of what's needed. And I think he went in there and done the job, mate.
Aye, fair play to the boy. Yeah, we criticised Bridgman. Only downside for me was the young boy, Ridvan, yeah. Which it was quite sad, wasn't it, when the boy looks like a hamstring, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, I'm sure I read something tonight there, or saw something on the TV, whatever I've mentioned it, his hamstring gone, and they might be out for the rest of this year. So, or maybe after a World Cup type thing, you know. So,
you're going to have some team after a World Cup, aren't we?
Tell you what, it's just quite incredible, isn't it? It's the way things are going. Now, he's always said some lovely things about the way the game was played, and so it was. And yes, there was some really good play, which I thought Ben Davies did very, very well. Once again, the goalkeeper seemed quite good. So I was quite happy. Every player, I wouldn't give any negatives against anyone. There was a few I've mentioned a few. I thought Lundstrom again had a great game as well, you know. So it shows to me.
Lundstrom domestically three goals in 3 games.
I was just about to say that. It shows you the league that we're in. Lundstrom seems to be very comfortable at that level, at our level, and in local games. Yeah, I don't know if he's ever going to be a star in the European theatre. He might come on to it, you know. He just needs to come on and have a really good game and do the business, and that should lift him. He was all right in the Europa League. He was all right. He's all right, and as far as I'm concerned, in our league, it's that Champions League. Oh, the big step up, big step up.
Yeah, we accept that, but we'll stick to Saturday's game. Look, we lost a bad goal there, first time up the park south side. Couple of wee errors. The boy Leon King getting a bit close to the boy. Even though I thought he had an excellent game for an 18-year-old playing at centre back, mate, you've got to take your hat after the kid. No, he's not playing at right back, left back. You know, he's playing at centre back. You go in there and the way you play the modern games plays, you're exposed, yeah. And the boy's doing okay, and he doesn't look out of place, does he?
No, he's going to learn with the experience. Like you say, he's flung into the fire a wee bit, because I think ideally he would have got a bit of game time and then we would have took him out and then put him back in at certain times. But at the moment, he needs to go in and play. So it's a big learning curve for him. I thought the boy Duke, when he made the run, probably just experience with cutting inside him. But I don't mind Ox. I mean, he's a young boy, and I can put up with making, if he's maybe getting a wee bit the odd mistake or a wee bit closer tight and getting spun, because he has got other attributes, and he's good at pretty reading the game, and he's learning. He's got a good passing range and that. So I just think he's strong, he's physical, and I think he's going to learn on the job. And obviously he's not getting a regular partner at the moment. He's played beside in the team as well, so that's changing every other week for him as well. But it's all going to be good for him what's going forward, and I think he can certainly cope in the Scottish League. So going forward that way, I've not got any fears about him playing in the centre back for us.
He's ahead of the curve for me. He's ahead of where he should be at 18 in that position. I think he's going to be a good footballer, and he's going to be a top player, Billy. He
certainly is that, mate. I just echo the words of Big Southside, mate. He's going to get better and better and better. He's only a kid, man. You know what I mean? And I'm the same as Southside and the rest of the guys, and I'm sure I'm the same as the listeners out there. We'll forgive the wee man of his mistakes every now and again, mate, because he looks a proper centre half, and it's a shame he's not getting to play alongside somebody on a regular basis, mate, with injuries we've had in there, mate. Chopman Chines and centre backs, and you know what I mean. And he has been dropped in there at the drop of a hat type thing, mate. So, but listen, he's a big laddie, and he's got potential, and he's going to be a cracking football player for Rangers, and he looks a right good centre half, mate.
For putting somebody in there, so young Bridgman centre back, it's unusual because they've still got the brain cells at 18. You know what I mean?
I think Billy says that he's a fantastic game. He's really rising to the challenge, and I'm not saying he's going to be on our first choice centre half. But my goodness, he's making a wee mark now. If he can continue and get the confidence against the level of Aberdeen, and so on. Then another step up to the other side of the city. There's quite a big step too. I think Aberdeen are the toughest team, and for us, toughest team in Scotland. And yet it's proven this season to be Livingston. But no, seriously, I think I thought they played a fantastic game, and more power to his pace. He's got good pace.
So, coming on to well, Big Southside, I've got to congratulate you. A bit unlucky, but I've got to congratulate you. You got the margin of the result right, and you got the first goal, scored once again. Big Cholak. Great move and a great finish. You went for 3-0. It was 4-1, so you were very close. But Big Cholak, mate, what a bargain.
He's a bargain, all right. Aye, he certainly was. I think you've got that mixed up for Saturday. I think you read the letter that appeared on the desk, no?
No.
You better see Fox.
Unless they come through Paris.
You better see Fox then. But Cholak in the box, mate. We know what he can do when he gets the right sort of service. It's pretty cheap to get somebody at his level, but he came with a reputation of 1 and 2 games, and we did say that if he comes to us, and hopefully we'll create more chances, that level should go up for him, And I'm expecting him to hit at least 25 goals this season himself. I'd like to see if he could smash 25 league goals. I'd like to get more, obviously, but it'd be a good return for his first season in the league.
See that goal he scored? I mean, he made it look simple, innit? But you've seen people screwing past the post, Billy. When they've tried to pass it in the 4 corner. Just made it simple, passed it, bang, goal.
He's brilliant, mate. Listen, that he's my type of Rangers number 9, mate. That's what I like. That's what I want my Rangers centre forward today. I want him to get in the box and stick him in the pokey, mate. And have you noticed the goal he scored on Saturday there, mate? He kids on, he's making that wee run, then he faints and he peels off. And Big Tillman has a look to see. Big Tillman had a wee look, and then he has another look, and he picks the big man out and he slotted it past the keeper, mate. He never snatched it or nothing. He knew exactly what he's doing. He knows where the sticks are. That's one thing he does know, Oxen. His all-round play now is getting a lot better too. I don't know if you've noticed that or picked up on that one as well. I thought when he first started, he was just holding the ball and trying to lay it off and making wee runs. But now he's getting the ball into, when he gets the ball into feet, mate, he's spinning off. He's gone left and he's gone right, mate. So he's mixing his game up as well. And it's great to see, mate. But I think the world of the big man. We keep him fit, mate. He'll score 25 goals a season, no problem at all.
Aye. And by the way, Southside, I didn't know that string his bow when he shoved Sakata through. When he played that ball in the first half, yeah? Aye,
it was nice. I noticed that he was coming, like Billy said, he was coming a lot short in the game and trying to get hold of the ball and linking the play. And you like to see, as soon as he lays it off, he's on his bike straight into that box looking for a return. But it was a good pass into Sakala, Ox, as you said. But we've seen him develop there, obviously, just for Saturday, coming a lot shorter and linking the play. So hopefully it's something that it certainly opened Aberdeen up, Ox. Obviously, it was a tactic that obviously Gio had looked at and it worked well.
Aye. You see a new team getting built here, Bridge? I mean, obviously, you had Ben Davis, Ridvan started, James Sands, John Lundstrom, Cholak, Sakala. They've only just all been with the club just over a year.
You can see the difference as well. Obviously, we're a couple of weeks ago and for a few weeks, a lot of the support's been shouting, get rid of Gio. And obviously, there's a lot of other folks saying, no, let him get a chance. Maybe that's one of the chances he's been waiting for. And reputational speaking, Aberdeen are a tough team, no matter whether at home or away. They're a tough team. And everybody's expecting, shall we say, a really tighter game. But the truth of the matter is that's 4-0 going on 14. God's gospel truth. Going on 14. We were just superb compared to them. And gave them a wee present in the first half, So I can't say anything about that. But yeah, you're right. It's a really good team. And see the ones that aren't here, they're out injured. They've got it all to do when they come back. When they come back, there's not one of them are just going to say, I'll walk in here. If they do, they're fools.
No, if we keep that level of performance.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%, buddy.
Southside, it's not something I would do, but I think Aberdeen came to have a game of football, and that suited us. So we gave them credit for at least having a game of football.
Yeah. Well, they obviously come down and the way he set his team up, you could tell that he was coming to have a go at us. Probably rightly so. He's probably looking at it confidence-wise throughout the team and the squad and the result for the week before and the way we've been playing. So he probably thought, well, I'll come down and have a go. I think he does that most weeks against other teams. Probably not so much them across the city, but it might change this season. But they did, and I think it helped us because we had a level of performance. There was a bit of determination, I think, about us, and we were passing the ball quick and fast and forward, and I think it helped us to start with. But in saying that, other teams have probably pressed us in the past, and we haven't been as quick and good with our passing. We've went passing it sideways. It was just a complete change. I think I heard Lundstrom saying that some players spoke to players and there was a few things said, and obviously taking it into Saturday, we've seen that performance. I'll not be naive and think we'll do that every week, Hawks. No. But if we can start to put in performances in the league like that, or close to it, or even do 70 minutes of a performance like that for the start, that should be good enough to beat teams, and then we'll see what the last 20 minutes take is. But we've got to go with what we've seen on Saturday, and it was certainly positive. And like you say, new players coming in, that's been part of the players that we've took in and starting, then it should be a start of some sort of squad going forward, Docs.
We'll see what it takes us, mate. Don't think we can plan much, Billy. If we plan too far ahead, he's bound to get injured, whoever he is,
That isn't half, mate. It's horrendous. I mean, you think we've just turned the corner there, didn't you? And then there's the laddie Ridvan gets injured, then Ben Davis is injured as well, mate. It's they're going through a terrible, terrible spell now. Unluckiness with injuries, mate. But I don't know when it's going to dry up. I mean, this can't continue, surely, mate. But listen, it is what it is, and we just need to get on with it. But we've definitely, we've the boys that came in and put that performance on Saturday, Ox, they done well, mate. And as you say, time and time again, mate, it's square pegs and square holes type thing, and we reaped the dividends on Saturday.
Well, we played the boys in a position pretty much. Sakala's relatively new to that position, Southside. I mean, didn't he come as an outside right or a right front player, really? He was more a guy down the middle.
Well, I think he plays in a two, didn't he, with Daka? I think when he played for the national team back here, full of enthusiasm, full of endeavour. He didn't lose heart if he didn't get by the player. He just kept going and going and going, and that's a good thing about him. He is unpredictable, but put it this way, Oxy, if somebody just keeps running at you and running at you, eventually you're going to get by him. And he gave him his due. He had a couple of chances and he done well in that position, especially second half. But if he's going to try like that, and hopefully if he gets a wee run in the team, if that's what happens, then hopefully he'll start to we'll reap the benefits. And when he gets into certain positions, we know that he might get that ball across more precise than he does sometimes. But it's a new position for him, as you say.
Did anybody see him celebrating Alfie's goal? Coming down the touchline, look out for it. If you maybe pick it up online, it's comedy gold. He's mental.
No,
he's enthusiastic. Yeah. Oh, he's going nuts coming down the touchline in front of the East enclosure. Yeah. Right. Okay, gentlemen, we get the phone lines opened.
Yes.
Hi, mate.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
Oh, Fox having a bit of fun. Give him a few minutes. He's just looking for some apples, Southside.
Is he? That's good.
Bit of watch. They have to throw them
golden delicious ones.
No, great Granny Smith. He goes for right, he's going to kill me, isn't he? Anyway, right, okay, so we're pleased. I went for Sands, my star man out at 90 minutes. Billy, who are you going for? You plumped for Lundstrom, did you, or Cholak?
Well, I thought Lundstrom was good, mate. I thought Cholak was good as well. I thought Sands was different class and all, mate. It was hard. It's one of the ones, Ox, to pick a man of the match, mate. But I thought Sakala was. I'm going to get to the wee man just because he's so infectious, mate. He's a pleasure to watch, mate. I'm going to get to the wee man just for coming in and playing that new role.
Rich?
I tendency to go with Lundstrom. I think he had a fantastic game, to be honest.
All right. Southside, who you plummeting for?
I gave it to Sands. Hawks. Thought he'd done everything that was asked him. Sometimes when they pick man of the matches in it, whoever sponsoring that, sometimes it's just who they like or who they want their photo took with. You know what it is? Well, sometimes they'll just pick somebody who they all want their photo took with, honestly.
Aye. How'd you used to get it?
Aye. But he was good in a lot of the games. That's what you didn't see.
Nah. I must have missed it. Good in some games. Forgive him that. Right, okay. Right, so where's that performance been? And how do we get that consistency? Southside, then Bridge, then Billy.
How do we get it? Well, we know it's in there. We know we've seen it. We've seen the performances before. This season we've seen a wee bits and spells in games, probably Hearts away, probably St Mirren at home, maybe Ross County, I think at Ibrox. There was a couple of games where we've seen some decent performances for a level of time and then we drop half. I think we've just got to try and get the squad Ox, the players into the right positions. If we can get, say it's going to be King and Davis going forward in the league games, I know it's not going to be according to what Gio was sort of saying, but if we could get that going forward and then we get, if Sands is going to be in the midfield with Lundstrom, then so be it. And if they're playing well, then hopefully that will start to kickstart the team, Ox, and we'll start to pass the ball forward and we'll look to inject the pace into the team that we know we've got with fresh players coming in. So it's there. It's just trying to get them all in the park at the one time and keep that consistency level, I think.
Okay, fair comment. Bridge?
Yeah, I 100% agree with the Southside there. But the consistency, we need to get the consistency. Sometimes you're not going to get that if you're chopping and changing. Sometimes you're forced to chop and change for injuries and so on. But looks like he's found a team that he could settle in with. And it looks like they're playing the way the fans want them to play, fast, in there, plenty of chances up at the goal. It gives them a bit of excitement and score a few. But I need to score a lot more than they're scoring when they get the chances. So no putting teams away. But I think that's what we need. It was a super performance by the club and the team. So just keep going that. Just keep it going steady. And maybe after the World Cup, all of the wonderful players that are injured, they'll all come back.
Aye. What's your thoughts, Billy?
Aye, mate. It's in my opinion, mate. It's just all down to work ethic, individually and collectively, mate, and just no forgetting every time you pull on that royal blue shirt, who you're representing, and what that means to pull that shirt on, mate. And for the gaffer to play the players to their strengths, mate. And obviously keep the players fit, Ox. I mean, that would be a help if we could do that, mate. You know what I mean? And because winning games breeds confidence. Let's not forget that, mate. And just go out and let the manager, let the players go out and impose themselves, mate. And it'll all come together because we know we've got that in our locker. That result has always been there, eh? It's just it's trying to get a consistency. But going by that on Saturday, mate, I'll take that for now to the end of the season. If we become champions, definitely.
Aye. I just kind of put my finger on it. I didn't see that coming, Southside. I didn't see that performance coming. I thought we'd win the game. But it was obviously, you get the third goal, you think they're not going to score two, so the pressure's off in the game. It was like shooting in, and we were playing some decent stuff, and people were flicking it and moving. So you could see confidence get through the team, mate. Yeah?
Aye, I say teams play with confidence, and you need to get results, and they need to be sort of decent. And we'd had a couple of bad results, and it knocks the confidence probably. Players probably didn't see certain results coming, and then you can see the groundswell. Then we start looking at, oh, is the manager doing the thing right? What's the board doing? What's that Ross Wilson doing? What's he doing? How's he no fit? How have we done this? And then if people just start looking at other things and other issues, when the issues is the players, because they're the players that go in the park and perform. And I've heard Gio talk about things like we didn't start quick, but I told them to. And if you look at it against Livingston, we didn't start quick, but he said before in the interview and after it, I wanted him to start quick and go on the ball. Maybe that result last week, Ox, maybe it's just started something else in the dressing room. I think they've had words to say. I think things have been said, and I think there was just a determination to go and probably say, right, let's show everybody what we've got here, because we're getting criticised left, right and centre. It was a good performance, and hopefully we'll take it into the next league game, when it's St Johnstone. They'll not have a great surface to play on, but at the end of the day, if we can play half decent or start the way we could start there, we'll blow them away in the first half, and it'll no matter in the second half. So it's just a case of hopefully the confidence will kick in, Ox, and the players will start to believe and start doing the right things, because some of them haven't been, but it was a good collective team performance on Saturday.
All right, mate, all right. What we'll do is, obviously, we'll be twitching between. The game was just on Saturday. This is our first show back, but we've got a big game tomorrow night, and it's a Champions League game. I think it's very unlikely that we're going to get through, but stranger things have happened in football. But if it's all right with you, we'll start building up to that as well. And we'll always come back to Saturday as well, but we're going to hear for the gaffer, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
We have Kamara coming back in the squad, and we have Lundstrom not available because suspension, and Humas will not be ready. He will be out for several weeks, and Ben Davis didn't train. Hopefully will be involved in the weekend, but tomorrow it's too early.
Can you try and sum up the difference in the two teams from when you first met on match day one?
The two teams? Well, I can only speak of my team. I mean, it's obviously we have a difficult run in Europe this season in Champions League, and we have the last chance tomorrow to have a positive result. So that's what we are trying to do, and that's all that matters for us tomorrow. And I only want to talk about my team.
Benefited massively from big, good results in Europe last season. How damaging could it be if you went through the group not winning a game, not getting a point?
Well, I mean, it will be disappointed, of course, because we knew the opposition we are facing in Champions League is from a much higher level than we faced last season. You can see all the games we played. It's been really tough, and once we qualified in Holland against PSV, I knew it's going to be a really tough European season, as I also had with my old team Feyenoord in Champions League, only get the first 3 points the last game at home against Napoli. So there was similar experience. But yeah, you want to have always the highest level of opponents. That's why you are, a top player and a club. You want to be involved in the highest level, although it means the opposition is quite strong, and so it will be disappointing not to get any points. Still one game to be played, but then, we have to switch back to all the domestic competition we are involved still.
What kind of difference do you think it could make, Gio, if you did get your first point tomorrow, or even your first 3?
Well, it's been positive. I mean, it's as I said, the group is really hard. If you see Ajax, they have from so far only 3 points. Last season they had 100% record in Europe in Champions League, and tomorrow we can even that points if we win. So that's that see the level, especially Napoli and Liverpool showed in this group. But it's got to be still a really hard game because Ajax is a very, very good team.
Yeah, what kind of performance do you think you'll need from your team tomorrow to compete with Ajax and to beat them? Your best of the season, maybe?
Well, we need to be on, our form needs to be there. And especially in Europe, you have to be 90 minutes. You have to be focused because a lot of moments in this campaign, we're getting punished not to be 100%, over the 90 minutes against Napoli, of course, with the sending off and the 3 penalties. It's always hard, but the first 60, 65 minutes, we were, well in the game. Against Liverpool, we were only 65 minutes. And then, of course, with the substitutions and the injuries we had, then, we dropped and, they punished us big time. So we need to have, our level, but, the level for 90 minutes. That's what's expected and what's needed in the Champions League.
I know how hard this group has been with last season's finalists. Napoli, a team that maybe could go as far as the final. They look very good. But in your mind, do you think Rangers could and should be able to compete with Ajax?
We compete with Ajax, a team who's almost played the final, and they are 5-6 years in a row, doing well in Europe. We haven't been, we're doing well in Europe the last 3 years. We're still, not at the same level as Ajax, but, we are developing, and that's, that's the way it is. It's the way the differences are in Europe at the moment. If you see Ajax, it's I think the players overall are from a higher level. Their budget is high. They bought for 100 million. They bought another bad defender from us last season. So it's we cannot compare ourselves with Ajax, but we can compete with them on the day, and especially at home at Ibrox.
Given that, Giovanni, do you consider yourself, when you go to the change room, do you expect to win when at home? It's the final game. Do you and your players expect to win tomorrow night, even though there's this disparity in both finances and European experience?
Well, you expect to win in Champions League. No one can expect to win. Not one team in Europe goes in the pitch and okay, we expect to win. The level is so hard and so competitive. If you look at all the results in Europe against even the big teams, they're not assured of winning games. So why should we go on the pitch and expect us to win against Ajax? We're gonna work hard for it. We're going to give a really, a good game against them, and that's different. But our approach should be humble, and we know we can be strong at home because we showed it, also this season, but also last season. But it's not easy to get a result. You have to really work hard for it, and don't go in the game and expect that we're going to win the game.
What do you think is more important tomorrow night then? The result, getting 3 points a point, or the manner of performance overall, the actual display?
Well, I think the if we have a positive display and a good performance, that will, bring us closer to a positive result.
Giovanni, you mentioned there about this Rangers team is developing at this level in Europe. What has this Champions League campaign taught you about this Rangers team that you maybe didn't know before?
What I didn't know about my team, well, it's a whole different level. How many players in my team play Champions League?
About kind of playing at this level, what has it taught you?
It was a question. We have players coming from the Championship, or even played in the B team, or it's a whole different level. And I've experienced the level as a player. I had the first experience with Feyenoord, playing as Juventus my first year, and didn't realize how much the level was in Europe, and until I played against Zidane and Deschamps and Del Piero, then I knew, well, this is a different level. This is the level I want to reach. And that experience, my players face the same this season.
Gio, there's been a lot of talk this season about Morelos, Čolak, or even both in a match tomorrow when you do require 5 goals, I believe, to have any hope of getting European football.
It will be easy. 5 goals will be easy.
Is this perhaps a game to test that out when you need to score so many goals?
No.
I just ask about James Sands. Obviously, if Davies is out, maybe likely he'll finish. Start with the centre back pairing that he finished with at the weekend. He's been out of the team for a little while since his red card against Napoli. How impressed were you with him at the weekend, and what can he give you in place of Davies at centre back?
Well, I think his performances the last games are really positive. Switching. We had to switch position a lot. With Lundstrom, with Sands coming as a 6 or play as a centre back. But he's a very smart player, so he can play either positions. It's not ideally you have to move players so many times in the last weeks, but we have to do it because of the injuries we have. So, but I'm really pleased with his performance, and he's giving a lot of intelligence to the team with the way he plays with his passing and his positions.
What was the injury? Is he up?
He had a hamstring injury. Yeah.
After the World Cup, is that when we're going to see him? You said
well, it will definitely be after the World Cup. I don't know how long exactly, but he will not be involved in the remaining games until the break.
Well, thanks for that. We can't catch a break, Billy, yeah?
What was that, Ox?
We can't catch a break, can we?
Oh, I'm telling you, mate, the injury levels it's incredible, mate. We just need players just need to look at us now, and they're getting half injured. You know what I mean? As I said, mate, it is what it is, Ox. It is what it is, mate. We just need to grit our teeth and get on, mate. And hope that the guys that come in to ask to get played whatever position they're going to get played in now, to fall for other guys that's injured, mate. Let's just hope that they can come in and do a job like they done at the weekend there, mate. But it's a big ask because we're a bit down to the bare bones, mate, and we're just into November.
Aye, well, I think the back four will be Tav, King, Sands and Borner tomorrow night, south side.
Aye, 100%, Ops. 100%.
So I don't think we've any other option, really. Basically, you the same thinking, Bridge?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Look, we're under no illusions. We've played five? We've played 5 games already in the European area and get hammered if we weren't good. So some of the games we played quite well, and all of a sudden the hammer can do it on top, is particularly a Liverpool game. But at the same time, inside that, we played quite well at times, but not enough. Not enough. Simple as that. Not enough. And when we walk against this Ajax, the gears are doing over there. Let's see what happens tomorrow night. So end could happen. End could happen. If you get 2 men sent off, makes it a different game, doesn't it?
Aye. Obviously, you can be a positive attitude like you do in every game, Billy. Yeah, you see where it takes you. But we're being sensible here. We know we're not playing Queen of the South, are we?
No, it's definitely no Queen of the South, mate. That's a certainty, Ox. No, listen, we've got to be realistic, mate. As I said on the show a few times, mate, the level of the Champions League it's like night and day, and there's a massive difference between the Champions League and the Europa League as well, mate. I mean, even for talking sake, Ox, I watched AC Milan last night, mate, and they hadn't been beat for over a year away from home, mate, and they get beat 2-1. You know what I mean? So football's a funny old game, as they say, but I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow night, mate, and let's get a hint of the players that get put on the players that get put on the park tomorrow night to start in 11, mate, and those that come on and get to do a job, mate, and let's hope we can keep them all fit and healthy, and get a wee result here.
So if I agree that's the back four with McGregor behind them, the midfield, Kamara's back in, but Kamara, Davis, Arfield, would that be? Wouldn't be my first choice, but I don't see, we've not got a lot of options, Bridge.
Well, we are limited, although I do think Kamara will go in. he's still got a lot of skills, that boy. But, when you look at the team that we had out in Saturday, they were good. They were good. And should we change that? Should we keep the same philosophy and the same players? And let's see where it takes us? I would say yes. I wouldn't want to change anybody.
Oh, we're going to have to, because...
Unless injuries, sorry.
Lundstrom's suspended. Sands will need to go back to centre back.
So automatically, Frank Kamara's got to come in then, isn't he?
Aye.
Maybe it's Stephen Davis. Stephen Davis available.
Aye.
He'll probably come in as well.
I don't think we've got a lot of options in there. Have we, Southside? No?
No, we have not. I think Davis will probably have to come in. I'll be Arfield and maybe Tillman, no?
Well,
I don't think you could fling Kamara in, but I think he's been out quite a bit, hasn't he, for the last number of weeks.
Yeah, I suppose you could go with McCann or Lowry and that, but you've been fair to the boys. You've been fair.
No Lowry, no. It's too much. Why to try and get him back now? We get him here or there, but it'd be too much to fling him in.
Well, I make sure we're fair to the boys. Who would you start as centre forward tomorrow night? In a word, Billy?
Oh,
Billy,
Kolach.
In a word.
Kolach.
Kolach, Southside.
Kolak.
Ridge.
Sorry, I didn't realise I was on mute there. Yeah, I'd Kolach, yeah.
Okay. All right. And are we sticking to the 4-2-3-1? Southside.
Aye.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your three behind Kolach then?
I would have Kent, Sakala, and I'd have Tillman.
All right, so you're pretty much going with the same starting front four.
Aye.
Saturday, aye. Okay. Aye, forget that. Any difference, Billy?
No, mate, I'm the same, mate. The team will be round about the starting 11 for Saturday, would I imagine, mate. I think so. I came we were talking about the young lads. Listen, stranger things have happened there, mate, regarding putting one of the boys in.
You'll be listening to anything. It's not going to be near the starting 11. Ben Davis is Red fans no starting and Lundstrom suspended.
No, what I said was, I says it'll be as near as the starting 11.
I apologise.
No problem, mate. No, but I think you'll maybe listen. I think maybe Lowry maybe got a wee sneak here. By the way, I've got a wee sneaky feeling up my sleeve. Maybe the boy will get a wee game here. Just due to the circumstances.
The starter or sub?
No, I think he'll get a game, mate. I really do.
Where are you playing him?
I'll play him in the middle there, just off not in the middle, just on the right hand side. The three with Tillman in the back of Kolach, Kent down the left.
And drops Sakala.
Aye, well, I know the boy's done well, but listen, I like a ball player in there, box. And the wee laddies, I mean, we're talking about there earlier on there, how well young Leon King's done at 18-year-old. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's two different positions. One's a centre half, the other one's maybe a football player, a ball player as you call it, or whatever. So I'd like to see the laddie getting a wee game in there. Or listen, you never know. Maybe Charlie McCann maybe even get a game in there as well, mate. You never know, due to circumstances. But I'll tell you one thing: if they play like your Sakalas or your Arfields or whatever, they're down to the bare bones on the bench as well. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting anyway.
Aye, I don't know if I've ever known a period like it, Bridge, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, 100% right, pal. It's quite weird at times, you know. I think the depth of, shall we say, midfielders. And normally you've got good midfielders and you've got guys that can step in for you. Where you don't get very many that can step in. And when you take Lundstrom out of the team, you really need somebody that can do 3 or 4 jobs, and that's Lundstrom. But I don't know if Stephen Davis could take his position, but you're going to really struggle with it at Winston. I have to say that, because it gets about European games, maybe slightly different, but my goodness gracious, that team played as if a park over there, and we don't want them to do that at Ajax.
I remember it being bones. I think Stephen Davis, I've got a funny feeling Glenn Kamara's coming back in the morning out south side. I think that'll be the two in front.
Aye, well, you might probably have to be honest, because Arfield wouldn't give you legs in that too. Aye, but Billy, did you say who'd you play wide? Lowry?
Aye, mate, aye, I would.
Right. He's got no fitness levels, Billy. Again, you're going to have players running about. You're going to be quick passing on the ball. Our midfield, with a fitness level about them was bad enough with Stephen Davis and Kamara in there. You know, if you let them zip the ball about by us, then no matter where you play Lowry out wide right, you'll not get a kick of the ball. We need a lot of runners in Mora, and we need players that we can sort of fill, especially in the midfield. Now that Sands and Lundstrom's coming out of that, we've got to try and fill it, and unfortunately we're a bit shy in there with players, so probably right up, so it'll probably have to be Stephen Davis and possibly Kamara, and we'll just have to go with it and hope that somehow we can get at them anyway.
That's a midfield. Sands isn't available because he would win a centre back.
Centre back, aye.
Lundstrom suspended, Jack's injured, and then you're really don't you're really don't with Stephen Davis and Arfield, who should be back part players, they're becoming more. You know, they're in the frame tomorrow night, and we're struggling. And I don't know. I think you've got to watch with the boys. I don't think you want to. I get maybe getting Lowry on the park, maybe Billy, maybe the last 20 minutes or something. Yeah, I get that. I'm going to be against that, but I don't know if I'd start them tomorrow night, mate.
Well, listen, as I said, stranger things are happening, mate. It all depends. I mean, we can sit here and speculate, and we don't know how fit the guys are, what they've been doing in training, mate. But what I do like about getting the young laddies in, they've no fear. They've no fear, and they'll run all day for you. You know what I mean? The likes of young Leon King and Charlie McCann and Lowry, the young laddies they're naturally fit as well, mate. And if the wee laddie's Lowry's over his injury, which seems to be the case, he's naturally fit anyway, and he's healthy, and he'll have been training now for a wee while as well. So I would imagine he'll be up to speed. And as I said, mate, the guys have got no fear, and I'm all for letting the young guns loose. But listen, I hear your
I like
your thinking, mate. You know,
I like him. You know. Anyway, hopefully we get a game tomorrow where Tav's against Bassey and try to push him back, if that makes sense, Southside.
Aye, or wee fashion suit there running up, you know. I want him out of a stinker tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I've said before, once you leave Rangers, I don't really care what they do. I support them and all that when they're here and that, but I hope he's a stinker tomorrow, the big man, you know. But aye, it'll be interesting. Hopefully Tav will get forward. But we've got to remember, we're up against a decent team tomorrow. They were one of the top two in the pot. And on their day, they're a good team, same as we showed on Saturday, but it's about levels. We didn't have a Dion playing against us on Saturday, you know. But hopefully we'll put in a decent performance, and hopefully the luck will be turning in our favour for a wee bit, and hopefully we'll get the right result tomorrow night, Ox, you know. And if we don't, as long as we put in a decent performance, I think that's the thing. But I hope we get the win tomorrow. I go expecting that Rangers can win at any game, especially at Ibrox. But the way it's been lately and the injuries we've got, and we've not got a full team out, it's going to make it an even harder task tomorrow night, if I'm honest.
Who for you then? Let's get through it, right? So, Souttar's out, Hollander's out, Ben Davis is out, Bridgman's out, Golson's out,
Hadji,
Ryan Jack, Hadji,
Roof,
Roof forgot about him. Geez, over by that on Saturday. Couldn't he come back again on Saturday?
Highlander as well.
Highlander, I said him, aye.
Oh, sorry, bud.
That's all right, mate. Highlander, aye. Some better players, isn't it?
It's, don't get me wrong, a few of them have been long term in that. But I mean, it's been a hard. Let's not kid ourselves. We're probably in either the hardest or the second hardest group in the Champions League. When you look at I think who's it? It's Barcelona. Is it Bayern Munich and Inter Milan, or is it PSV? I don't know. Is it Inter Milan in it? Is that one of the groups? I think in it.
I'll check it out.
And then you've obviously got Liverpool. You've got Ajax, who play in the Champions League regular, and then obviously pot 3. We were thinking, looking at some of them, and it came out Napoli, and you look how they're doing in Serie A, and how they've smashed most teams in this group. So I think probably at the groups, I think that other group I said round about that would probably be the other hardest group. So we're up against quality, and we've had a transition for last year to this year. And we're trying to get players on the park and get them to play. So I'm just hoping that it is a harder game of Morabili. It's going to be a lot harder, but do you know what? Let's have a go at it, you know. And on the night, you never know. We've seen great nights at Ibrox, and hopefully tomorrow night could be another one.
I forgot about Tom Lawrence as well.
Aye.
And then obviously Lundstrom can't play tomorrow night.
I was just looking at the injury list there, Ox. We've got...
What have you got? A toilet roll with you there, Billy?
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable, mate. We've got 5 defenders injured. We've got 5 midfielders injured. And we've got 3 strikers out. That's never been heard of, mate, in November.
Who's the 5 midfielders? Obviously Lawrence, Jack.
Lundstrom.
Oh, he's suspended tomorrow night, isn't he?
No, but he's not available. That's what I mean.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I was just saying a wee look there while I was on mute, mate. You've got Lawrence. Well, obviously, you've got Lawrence. Jack. You could call Hadji a midfielder or attacker, really, right? So he could come into the 3 strikers. Bridge. You've got the long-term boy Obroff. You've got what's the other one? Tom Lawrence. You know what I mean? So as many as that I've mentioned, 5, 4.
You said there was 5 midfielders and 5 strikers. I wondered, 3 strikers was it? You said.
Right. You've got goals in Hollander.
Aye.
Suter, Ben Davis.
Aye. Ridvan.
And Ridvan, right? That's your 5 defenders, mate, right?
Mm-hmm. Ryan Jack, Tom Lawrence.
Tom Lawrence, 2. Lundstrom suspended. There. You could count him in there. Maybe that's what I've done. I've maybe counted another one. There's another one there that's injured as well. We're no picking up on.
Kamara would have been, but he's made the squad.
Kamara was been out for about all right. But there is a lot of injuries outside that. Let's be honest.
Aye, 100%. We've picked him up, and
I don't know how they guys are surviving on their SSP.
I tell you what, I don't know. I'd be maybe like to see if you could maybe cut your ties with maybe Roof come January. Don't know what he's got left.
He's not going anywhere.
I know, but you could maybe come and say to him, listen, look, you're not performing right, you're not fit. What's left in your contract? And then see if you can come to some type of arrangement where we can let him go, and he can hopefully then go and sign for somebody else. And if he takes a bit less than what he's due to be fully paid up, you know, we should be getting a rebate on him, mate, to be honest.
You know, but you got about a year and a half left in his contract. Give or take, mate. Yeah, he ain't going anywhere.
4 injuries and a suspension. I correct myself, folks. That's what it was, mate.
So, obviously, Lundstrom. And you've got Tom Lawrence, Brian Jack, who else?
recognised midfielders. You'd get the laddie Obrov as well. It's never kicked a ball, mate. So I would consider him. He's a pool player as well, mate, but he's never kicked a ball. So he's the laddie. He's injured and all. And then, as I said, we've got Hadji, Roof, out the strikers.
If I'm being honest, Morelos has been running about the injury treatment table as well. Bridgeman, isn't he?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's interesting what they're saying about the offer bar. Is he still, this contract still live for another year?
Oh, I think that was a 4-year deal, mate.
Is it? Yeah. I don't know how good he is health-wise.
I've never seen him, have we? You know?
No, but I don't know how. They can't just do that as well. He's in hospital. They wait his contract's up, simple as that. If he's unable to do it, gee whiz. Really seems to have missed out badly on that one, didn't he?
No, I know. Somebody
it's
came
for the boy.
He came to the club. It's quite a sad story, really, so sad, isn't it?
Aye. I actually thought maybe after a year or something, I didn't know how, so I don't know the ins and outs, to be honest, Ox, but I expected him maybe after he discovered there was something wrong, that he might have seen him maybe about a year down the line, even sort of training or whatever, but that hasn't seemed to happen yet. So hopefully we'll maybe see him in a blue jersey in time, and the boy will be back to sort of relatively normal, so to speak, whatever they've discovered, and hopefully that's all you hope for. His health is the most important, mate.
Yeah, unlucky, And my understanding is that it was something that picked up. He passed the medical and then something else developed, no? So he's either been lucky or unlucky, but he could have been lucky if something was picked up,
It's a shame for the boy, mate. You know what I mean? The laddies came here with a good reputation as well. Obviously the boy's been watched and thought he was good enough to get in there and play in the midfield, mate. You know what I mean? But listen, our main concern is the laddie gets fit and healthy again. And it's just unfortunate. It'll be an absolute nightmare for the laddie, because all he's wanted to do is come and play football, and he's just a young boy as well, mate. And to find out his long-term future or short-term future, whatever the case may be, mate, we don't know. We're no any medical experts or specialists or anything like that, mate. But if the laddie's got problems there with his heart and that, let's hope the laddie gets back fit and healthy, first and foremost for himself, and secondly, let's see if we can get the laddie into a Rangers jersey, mate. But we wish him all the best anyway.
Okay, right, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. If you don't mind getting yourself on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
From Argyle, so young, to Glasgow City, they come, seeking fortune and a new way of life. How could they know ambitions would grow? Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes. Four lads had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 55 titles were still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags, sing with your heart and voice, celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. For us had a dream to start a football team. It had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. They had no money, no kin, not even a ball. They still carry on. The Rangers are gone. 55 titles, but still going strong. 55 titles, we're still going strong.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, gentlemen, okay now.
Yep.
Aye, mate, smashing.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever known I've run an injuries like this, long-term, short-term, everything happening. You just have to deal with it, I suppose, Southside. Go on, mate.
Aye, there's 2 or 3, obviously 4 in there, sort of longer term that we know about. But obviously, we've been getting Ridvan up to a bit of match fitness, letting him settle in and introduced him in bits and starts, and then we thinking he might start to go on a wee run, and there he's picked up an injury. You know, and there's Ben Davis, the same.
Oh, I've got a question, mate. We've been joined by Bobby. All right, Bobby?
Yeah. Huh?
All right?
Yeah, fine. Aye, yeah.
Yeah, the floor's all yours, mate.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is, I've listened to your phone in and you're making excuses, right? You're talking about Hollander. Hollander's not been there for a year and a half, right?
Aye, I agree.
Right.
Bobby, you've got the show on in the background. Can you turn it off, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Turn it off, mate.
Yeah. There you go. Your Hollander, Suter, and you're saying they're all injured. They were never there in the first place.
Well,
so I'd like to say, stop making excuses for your own, the way you're saying we're going to get beat. We're going to beat Ajax. And we're going to beat Ajax with a team we've got. No, with people who are injured. People who are, if you had people who are injured, you'd have had them out ages ago, like Tavernier, Lundstrom, playing against Livingston. Give them a rest, but you tell me how Hollander can be classed as a Rangers player.
I'm sure he gets his money in the bank every month, Bobby.
Oh, yeah, but you can't say Hollander's out. Hollander's not been there for the last year and a half. Maybe here and there, but no Suter or who. What I would do tomorrow is play young boys, play McCann, play. If we're going to get beat, we're going to get beat, right? But let's make the Rangers supporters proud of us instead of the old gross, the old crap of again.
I think you need to watch for the young boys. You need to be fair to them. Southside.
I think, Bobby, just as you come in, I think we just said that obviously Hollander, Roof, Suter and Hingmay are long-term injuries and Hadji. Right, I think we said that. We're just counting it as a full squad. If they'd been fit, it might have made a difference for us, and especially in the Champions League. But I said, just as you come on, obviously Ridvan we were hoping to see going forward, and unfortunately he's just picked up an injury. Same with Ben Davis, just back in the team. He's just picked up an injury, according to the manager. So obviously they're two that we'd like to have seen tomorrow night. So we're not going to. I agree, if Charlie McCann went in, I'd love to see him in it and playing, because at the end of the day, I think we all can say we'll probably not win 5-0, right? We'd love to see the win. But at home, I've always said I think Rangers can beat anybody at Ibrox. But I'm just saying it's a bit harder the more because we've lost 2 players. Sands now is going to come out the midfield and Lundstrom. But there's no reason why we can't have a go the more, Bobby. But just saying it is technically a bit harder for us.
I understand that, right? I understand, but we can't keep on saying Hollander. Oh, Suter's no injured. Suter's injured. Suter's not even a Rangers player, as far as I'm concerned. I know he's a Rangers player, but he's not a Rangers player. He's never played for us, Harley.
He'll be getting his wages again every month, Bobby, another one, you know.
Yeah, well, I used to go to work and not do any work, but I used to get my wages. You can't keep on saying Suter as Rangers. He's no Hollander. He's no Roof. He's no. Right, these people are... Hadji, there's another one. Hadji's been injured for over a year and a half.
Not quite.
Well, he was injured before the UEFA Cup final.
Aye, that was 6 months ago, mate.
6 months ago, but he was injured before that.
He got injured in the cup tie against, I can't remember who it was against. It was somebody, small team, wasn't it? He got injured in the cup tie in the January time.
But my question is, where is all these injuries coming from? How come I watched that other mob the other day, and the Portuguese guy was back, right? So how do they come back? But ours are out for maybe 10 months.
Well, if you take Hollander, for instance, his was a full knee replacement. No, Hollander. Hadji, it was a full knee replacement, so that's going to take a bit of time. Suter, we believe, was an operation on his foot that's had to change because the club wanted something done and something else had to be done. Redvan.
So who signed him?
Suter.
Who signed him?
The Rangers signed him, but
who signed him?
Well,
who's seen any potential in him?
The manager, Ross Wilson. Yeah.
Ross Wilson is the biggest instigator in all this. Ross Wilson is the biggest instigator that we have ever had.
Right. Do you think it's Ross Wilson's fault that Redvan does his hamstring?
No, because he's not had enough games.
Well, I know some of his recruitment's been poor, but I don't know if we can blame Ross Wilson for injuries. Billy?
No, you can't blame the guy for injuries, Oxchair. I mean, Bobby, I don't know what you're thinking regarding injuries, mate. What happens to with players when they get injuries as well? If it's an ongoing injury type thing, like for talking sake, Ryan Jack, if he's got a problem with his calf, then the other parts of your body start to compensate for that injury, and then because the body's getting overworked, you start to get other wee injuries run about that injury you've got. So that could be the possibility that with Hollander, we don't know, mate, but we're not any medical specialists or anything like that, mate. So, but it's let's put it this way. But these players are all Rangers players, and they are out injured for a long time now. So we've still got to get on with, and we've got to go what we can go with, mate. But that, unfortunately, that's a fact. They're Rangers players, and there's the Rangers players, mate. That's what happens. It's part and parcel of football, mate. Players getting injured. It's just sometimes it's short term, sometimes it's long term. That's what football's all about, buddy.
What about Roof then? What about Roof?
Sorry?
What about Roof?
What about Kamal Roof?
Yeah. He trips all you, he's out for 6 months. Why no? So he trips all you, he's out for 6 months.
Aye, we agree. We don't disagree with that, Bobby.
Right, but when they comes on the park, everybody says, "Oh, Kamal." My point is, I'm hurting. I'm a Rangers supporter all my life, yeah. And I just want to see a team on the park tomorrow night to use a battle. Okay, we go on Saturday there, right? We go on Saturday. That's for a long time, right? But I want to see it carried on tomorrow night. I don't want to see the old gross, the old excuses. He was out, this is out, he's out. No. Let's go. Ajax have only got 3 points. That was against us.
Aye,
They're not world beaters.
No.
So we can't go out and stay, oh, but this man's out, that man's out, he's out, and he's out. That's how we didn't get a result. No. We can go and beat them. Maybe no 5-0, but we can still beat them.
Well, we have to put a performance on. Look, we're doing the bare bones, particularly the back, mate, and obviously we have got injuries quite quickly, even the guys that played on Saturday, 2 of the starting 4s.
Yeah, I understand that, mate.
We're at the bare bones. Guys like Kmart Roof, mate, we're stuck with them till their contracts are finished. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You'll come in and out, you'll see him play. He ain't gone anywhere. I mean, I don't think he's gone anywhere Southside, you know.
Yeah,
well,
I
I was trying to move him on, Bobby, just before you came into the show. I was saying maybe see if we could pay him off in January, you know, and free up some money and get somebody maybe in that's going to start playing, you know. But like you say, they sign contracts, Bobby, and once they're signed onto the contract, he'll be getting chunky money, and he's sitting there, and unfortunately, maybe he is bursting to get back and into the team and play, and he's just brightened down again, and maybe it's frustrating for him. Maybe will be players want to play football, you know, but he's been out a long time. He done well in the 55 season. He played a lot of games, scored a lot of goals. Yeah. But unfortunately, this season we've not seen him.
What I'm trying to look back, we can't keep on going back to 55. All the team done well in 55.
I was just talking about the amount of times he played, Bobby, but he played a lot of games that season for us. More than he has done recently.
Right, anyway, my point is, we're going to beat Ajax tomorrow night, right?
Hope you're right, Bobby.
I'll be 2-0, trust me, 2-0. And we'll get put, but as long as we put on a display. And can I ask you before I go, where is your boy Lowry? How far is he away?
I've not checked out if he played for the B team at the weekend. I'm not sure. He was on the bench last week in Europe, yeah.
That's right.
And he wasn't even in the squad because obviously that was a nasty tackle he got. I don't know if you've seen it, Bobby.
Oh, I seen it on watching the Rangers. I've seen it. But the point is, how far is he away? If he's on the bench on Wednesday night, yeah. If you're on a bench, you must be fat enough.
You'd like to think, but the trouble is, mate, they have 9 substitutes now. Then it's not the old days when they had 2 or 3.
No, I know.
You know, 9 substitutes.
But how far? I'd like to know because there's nothing going out to Rangers. How far is he away?
I don't think he's match fit. I don't think he's once he's fit, mate. He should be in the team better and better. I'm just trying to find out if I can find out if he's playing for the B team. I tell you, he wasn't playing for the women's team at the weekend.
I think, Bobby, it might have been on the bench because of the quota for your homegrown players and that.
Right, I've got you right.
So he might not have been fit to play, but just match fit, meaning, but he might have had to go on the bench just to fill that quota, you know.
See, I'd love to see that before the end of the season. Lowry, McCann, McCrory, Devine, all playing.
He started the B team game at the weekend there, so that's how he wasn't on the bench for us.
Well, if he started, surely give the boy a run out. All the Rangers supporters are behind him. You know what I mean? It's not like he's going to get slaughtered. He's not going to get slaughtered like King last week, which is unacceptable. The boy got slaughtered last week on the internet and all that.
Listen, you know what the fans are like when we lose. You know, we can be quite a tough crowd.
Tell me about it.
It can be quite a tough crowd. It's all right saying throw the boys in. Charlie McCann, Alex Lowry tomorrow night. Billy, if it goes a wee bit Pete Tong, mate, and you're not being fair to them, I don't think. Let them learn their trade.
Right, do you know what I'm going to think about tomorrow night? I bet you Fashion Scala's on the team and Scott Wright is. Scott Wright should never be a Rangers player in his life.
I'll let Southside answer that.
You were going to come to me with that one. Listen, I've stuck up for Scott Wright a few times, only because there is a bit of talent in there, right? But for some reason, when he's been gave chances at times, he's been poor. You know, I thought he had a decent game against Dundee, and I know it was only Dundee in the Cup, but he showed a bit of something, and he has showed up in certain games where he's played no bad. But see, the winger thing that we've had a problem with, it's the same all the time. Whoever goes out on that right-hand side needs to try and get a run of games. You need to try and play a few games. You need at least 5-6 games consecutive to play out there and see if you can start to get your performances together. And that's been the problem.
That's what I've been trying to say. Yeah. Do you think Sakala should play tomorrow night? Sakala.
I would play Sakala tomorrow night.
I'm not his greatest fan, but it's the best I've seen. What do you think?
He's something different. If you're picking the team on form, just on form, Sakala starts, Bobby.
So what would your team be?
Well, considering the injuries we've got at the moment, but McGregor in goal, Tavernier, Leon King, James Sands, Borna Barisic, and unfortunately, maybe Glenn Kamara will come back in with Stephen Davis. I think he'll play Arfield tomorrow night for the start. He'll put the boy Tillman on the bench, and they'll go with Sakala, Kent, and Chola.
So you've got midfield, Davis, Arfield, and Kamara. That's what I think you'll pick them on. So we're going nowhere. We're actually going nowhere now.
That's what I think you'll pick them tomorrow night. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah.
So why not play the boy? I'm not here. It's Fanera, Tillman. At least he's got something.
Because of what's happened in Europe in the 2 games, mate.
Right.
Really posted missing. He's learning his trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I would run on Saturday against St Johnstone. I would have Tillman in there. Yeah, let him grow. But in the couple of European games, it's I don't think we've been fair to him. But maybe if we played him in his natural position,
and he's natural, but no out in the wing. And he has got talent. When you kind of look at him, he has got nice touches. He's as if he's too much ahead of the rest of them. If you know what I mean.
He needs runners, Bobby. He needs runners.
He needs somebody to run off him. He's not got that now.
He needs runners. Right, Bobby, good to speak to you, mate. You take it easy, brother.
It's a pleasure. Right, cheers, mate. Right, thanks a lot.
Being joined by Magpie, evening Magpie.
How you doing, lads? How's things?
Good to hear from you, Mugger. What's on your mind?
I'll tell you what it is, mate. I think yesterday, Saturday was brilliant performance, great score, but I think it's paper over the cracks, and I hear people's optimism about tomorrow. I just think we'll get another doing. I don't understand, but you know that I've mentioned the injury problems and the players we lost as well. If you add them to it, the players we lost and the injuries, it's a lot for last season's squad. So it's not just as simple as we're out of depth in this thing, because we did beat PSV to get there, basically. But, mate, what's worrying me is that basically I've stuck by Gio. We've went for last year, for people talking about Rangers again, to talking about us again on a completely different level. We're now standing to be pointless and the worst goals against. Now, I'll support Rangers no matter what happens to them. But the truth of the matter is, everybody took credit for it, for the directors, the players, the manager. Everybody collectively must take responsibility for this as well, buddy. I watched fiddle trainings of fiddles. I watched any Rangers related, mate. And it baffles me. Every time I see it, it's the same thing. It's as if it's a group of young boys in the park kicking a ball out with somebody in the middle chasing a ball. Arfield's come out and said they've stopped doing running. Scottish game's all about running. So they've stopped actually running. And we're getting injuries. And remember, we used to blame the plastic pitches. They're all having at Ibrox, mate. And so there's definitely a big difference from what happened last year when we played 2 back-to-back big games, 120 minutes each, and looked to fit our team. We now look as if we're blowing at our arse after 60 minutes, mate. And that's a worry. And Ox, mate, I'm being serious here, up front, honest. I'm always honest. It's only my opinion. I just don't see this going anywhere anytime soon. I still see us dropping points before Christmas. What they've got, mate, is they can get players back after 2 weeks, and they've got a big squad, and they'll run the legs off of teams. Whereas we, mate, we're unpaced, ponderous, and just, as you said, down to the bare bones. So you've got to give him answer. You've got to say the man just been unlucky. But is it just down to just bad luck, or is it down to lack of proper training?
Oh, that's a tough question, mate, because obviously hamstring injuries can happen at any time. Lawrence's injury was an impact injury. You look at the long-term ones, and we've got a few sick notes through Philander. Hadji in a cup tie and Rockies challenge has a knee replacement. If every injury was a calf injury, Southside, I would say, right, okay, we've got an issue. Yeah, but geez, I don't think there's two the same, is there? Big Goldstein dying a challenge.
No.
Against Liverpool, wasn't it?
We've picked up, Suter had injury problems in the past, and Hadji picked up an injury long term. Highlander, Magpie was out, as we know, in and out. The squad isn't it? And obviously we're losing 2 midfielders that would have expected to probably play in there, would have been Sands and Ingwe. And I know what you're saying, but see, to be honest, what have we done in the Champions League anyway? Even when we had good players, and I know, Magpie, when you think back, I don't know what age you are, right, or when you started watching Rangers in Europe, right, but if you think back to like Champions League
He's
things,
a lot older than me, so
we've not done anything brilliant in the Champions League anyway. So what is the expectation? Do you think people had this year because of what we've done in the Europa League?
No, just that, mate. Look, I agree with you, right? We've not been brilliant at times in the Champions League, but we've had some good results at the Champions League. I started the very first 1992, we went to unbeaten. We have beaten teams in the Champions League. I agree with what you're saying, but we played against, to me, that Juventus kind of hammered us home and away. It's probably one of the best teams I've ever seen. But to be someone
else, is it Ibrox and all, Magpie?
No, listen, I understand exactly what you're saying. I think our expectation levels for the Champions League, but mate, there's got to be this. You can see teams going in that Champions League that have got less money than us. They're Liverpool, right? Liverpool's hardly kicked the ball in the league. They beat Man City, but we beat with Leeds at home, and Leeds had their own problems to think about. To be truthful, mate, I'm not saying that we should have qualified for that group under no circumstance. I believe that, but I do think they could have put a better showing. Other than that, then we shouldn't qualify for it at all. We'd be better just dropping into the Europa League. If you know me, because I don't know about you, mate, I don't want to see Rangers getting scalped every time they play. And I don't think if the Rangers fans should be getting charged the money they're getting charged to see these teams scalping Rangers every time they play as well. But no, I see what you're saying. But the truth of the matter, mate, you can put anybody, if you get 11 fit professional football players with a bit of ability, you can make it difficult. We made it difficult for Man United, Fergie's Man United. We made it difficult for a number of teams, as well. So basically, it's not just about that. It's about, being compact, there's teams do it against us, and we still go to beat them. No, my expectation wasn't we were going to go out this group. I never for a second thought we would. I didn't expect to be getting beat 7-1 at home. And I do know it's a lot bad.
It's not the actual home and away or a draw, mate. It's been the scoreline. It's been a sickener, if you like, Magpie, yeah?
Yeah, well, definitely, mate. Definitely. I mean, I never thought I'd ever see Rangers lose 7-1 at home. Ever. Not in my lifetime, mate. I thought those days were gone. When the 5-0, then that was a really bad Rangers team that could be beating 5-0. But the truth of the matter is, mate, my worry isn't about Southside. This is me speaking to Southside. I expect to see Rangers I'm not happy with the manager saying we're only 4 points behind. We shouldn't be 4 points behind them. We shouldn't be.
But
we have done points to. But that's what I mean. We shouldn't be, mate. We the same way as these teams are better than us. We're better than them.
See the team in 92, 93. Yeah.
Aye.
Obviously, they went on a fantastic run in the 44 games. See the following season, they still broke points.
But see that team, Ox, that team, we had the free foreigner rule at that time. We had to get rid of our foreign plus because we couldn't play more. The English were good. So if you imagine we had the same squad, the full squad, what we could have done, we had injuries. Remember, Haley actually said that I got a phone call from Marseille basically trying to tell him to get to score against Bruges or to get dropped, and he got sent off against Bruges, so he couldn't play. Right, so basically, but what I'm trying to say, mate, is this isn't a fit-looking Rangers team. None of us can turn around and say this looks a fit. If you watch any video of Rangers, right, I've watched them on it, and they're all doing this piggy in the middle and passing a bit. There's no running. There's no nothing. This is no way does this resemble that team. It would run and run and run for last year. It's not just about injuries.
I think somebody's been saying since the start of the season that we don't look as fit as we did in the past. And I'm bringing Southside in Bridge. Southside.
Yeah, I said Magpie before. I thought at the end of last season that squad had a fitness level through Stevie G's time and the coaching staff at Ibrox. So I thought even when Gio took over, they had a right good level of fitness, and you've seen it all the way through up to the extra timing games and all that, and the way we played at Ibrox in the Europa League run. But I think since we've come back and started, I think our level of fitness hasn't looked anywhere near like it did under the previous manager and the backroom team. But that's just my opinion, mate, but I just don't think it's looked anything near like it was. And that is a problem because you need to be fit enough to get through this league and the amount of games that we're playing, 3 games a week. We knew we were going into that period of time like we always do when we're in Europe. So I just think, but obviously fitness, injuries, and you're bringing players in that haven't been in the team for a few weeks and you're trying to get them in and then they might come in and all play well. You're changing one and another. But I just think I just thought we can still win this league, Magpie. I don't think we can. I get that they're doing what they're doing and they're on a run and they don't lose many games, and you see how many games they're playing, and that's the level that we need to stick it. We've got to be winning, but you can't go a full league season usually and no drop points. We've done it over the years and years. Even the team that you're talking about, 91, 92 team, that season we get popped out of Europe with Sparta Prague. It's things like that happen. I just think we have to go into the competition, Magpie. We need to go into that Champions League. I never thought I'd ever see a Rangers team ever lose. For all the games I've been to and watched Rangers in Europe, Magpie, I never thought I'd ever see us get beat 7-1, but it's happened. Football's moved on. Players are a lot fitter now down there than what they might have been back when we used to watch, like you said. We've put a fist there against Man United. But money's changed, the game's changed. And I've said that as much as it'll break my heart. I don't know if we drew Man City, no matter which squad we've got for next season, if they came and played us, could they not take 7 off us? We've watched them do the best teams in England. And that's what I fear now. But I hope in my lifetime I never ever see Rangers take a beating like that again, ever in Europe.
I was just going to say, the way we've been playing, not yesterday or the weekend there, but just previous to that, we've been woefully short in fitness, woefully short in match fitness, dreadful stuff, and low in confidence. And we're playing against players at teams at the top. They're a cream at the top. These people are the top 60 teams in Europe. It's just amazing. So yes, it's there, and I don't think that the quality we've got at our club are good enough, are proven to be good enough. But the team that we played against Aberdeen and the way they played, that's a chance. That's a wee light at the end of the tunnel there for them. If they can start building on that, just get that alone, and keep the players' heads up, because it's really difficult to go out against Liverpool. I'm sitting there and I could not believe it. I just could not believe it. And I told you before, I walked to Ibrox and I was shocked.
Anyway, we've been joined by Ian for YouTube evening, Ian.
Evening, lads. How you?
All the better for hearing you, mate.
I was just listening about the Champions League. To me, there's nobody in Scotland, no teams that the class that's in the Champions League, because they're big multi-million money spenders, which we've no got. So they're getting all the talent, the best talent throughout the world. Now, all right, the 7-1 score with Liverpool was a heartbreaker, but if you play as poor as that on the night, you expect that. And I must applaud the team on Saturday, especially the second half when we hemmed in the sheep for the full second half. We played absolutely brilliant, I think. And I still see folk complaining about how we're playing. And I've got to remind them about the Aberdeen game. Could that nobody be lost? It's maybe just happening now. Because if you remember, we're always playing great, and then we get to this time of the year and we play rubbish. We've been playing rubbish up to this time of the year, and now we're after the game on Saturday. We played brilliant. So how could this not be another wee turnabout that we're going to start playing good for now on for this game? Because it's always been the other way about. It's always been playing crap up to Christmas, and then we get after Christmas. We play great, up to Christmas, and then we're crap after that. This year it's been crap up to now. Great, brilliant result, and I was lambs to the slaughter on Saturday in the second half. I was proud as punch of the team and all the players involved and the goals, everything. And this could be the boost that we've been needing to run on. Plus, at the World Cup time, we'll get the time to get all injuries thingied back for the team, and we'll have a stronger team, better team to go. Plus, get some of the younger ones in. I hear a lot of folks saying, you can't play this one, he's too young, but he's good. Age means nothing. You had Shrek in Man United, 16, Derek Johnson, 16, Derek Ferguson, 16-year-old. These boys could play football. They were at 16. So if somebody's good enough to play football in a jersey, get them on the park. Don't start this, we'll wait till they're 22, 23. They're only going to learn the good way and the hard way. We're playing hard Scottish football that they're doing in the B League, which is absolutely brilliant, and that's what's making these players, and a few of them have come through, and I think that's the way to go. And I think we should stop moaning, really, because we've still got a league to go for, 2 cups to go for. That isn't the end of the world. The Champions League is well above our class in any other Scottish team. Well above our class.
You're always honest, Dean, you're always honest. But I'll tell you what we're going to hear. We're going to hear tomorrow night's Port Report.
Right.
Hello and welcome to Port Report. Today we're going to look at Rangers versus Ajax. Prediction, team news and lineups. Rangers must beat Ajax by 4 or more goals on Tuesday evening if they're to remain in the European competition this season. The visitors, meanwhile, were knocked out of the Champions League after suffering a 3-0 home defeat to Liverpool last week, but they will have high hopes of dropping down into the Europa League, finishing third in Group A. Ajax have not enjoyed a good start under manager Alpha Schroeder. Schroeder will point towards the club selling important players such as Anthony, Lissandro Martinez, Ryan Gravenberch during the summer, gone by as likely the reasons towards Ajax not performing well in Europe. Many fans have already become disgruntled with Ajax, having lost 4 of their last 5 games in the Champions League group. This has included conceding 10 goals in 2 games against Napoli. Schroeder is certainly under pressure, and his team set selections have also concerned the club's fans. The Dutch FA allowed Ajax to have a week off domestic duties, where they sit above PSV Eindhoven at the moment. Before they face their title rivals next weekend, Schroeder will be confident his team can bow out of the Champions League with a victory on Tuesday, as he aims to improve his side's fortunes in Europe and to claim that third spot. Ajax will be without Akçam Kaplan, missing due to a knee injury. Edison Alvarez and Uren Timber will be rested, with both players only one caution away from incurring a European suspension, so Owen Winyal and Florian Grilic will potentially be replacing them among their possible changes ahead of the huge game against PSV at the weekend. Possible lineups could be Rangers, McGregor, Tavernier, King, Davis, Barisic, Sands, Davis, Sakala, Arfield, Kent, Colak. Ajax possible starting lineup was Pasveer, Rensch, Bassett, Blind, Winyal, Klaassen, Grealish, Taylor, Berghuis, Kudus and Ocampos. With Ajax likely to rest a few players given their strong position in terms of holding on to third spot in Group A, we can envisage Rangers salvaging some pride with a positive result on Tuesday, which would like us in their tournament with a point, and some pride with a positive result on Tuesday. And that's the end of Port's report.
Well, that was Port's report.
I was just going to say that.
He's learning some amount of lingo, old Port, isn't he?
Aye.
That was very good, by the way. Very good.
Italian. I think he's better than Italian, Southside.
Well done.
Aye, certainly getting lessons anyway somewhere.
Well, once he masters English, he'll get even better, won't he?
Aye, 100%, especially Tavernier.
You know, what about, how do these teams in all these countries, but it seems to be they get supported, their breaks when these games, nothing. We get nothing, do we? Finals and 2 European finals in the last 15 years, roughly. And, you know, they're getting time off for group stages. They would have been better, Billy.
Well, we know where that's coming from, Ox, don't we, mate? You didn't need to be a rocket tuner. Aye, you didn't need to be I don't know, mate. You don't need to be a rocket tuner to wonder where that's coming from, mate. You know what I mean? We can, to keep it clean, mate. We'll, I think we'll better just leave that subject alone. I think.
I don't get it, mate. Anyway, well, it's a glamour tie. It takes us back in time. Obviously, the first Super Cup, Rangers versus Ajax. Yeah, are we back in '73? Yeah.
Yeah, great games, great team, fabulous team, and they were. I dare say that was maybe round about the start of their European reign. They were a really good team, one of the top teams in Europe, and I think they're just starting to really come back up again. I thought they were a great team, and I thought they played really well against us. I didn't think we had a snowball's chance in hell watching them, but now we've got a team that's playing a wee bit better at home, so. They've got a bit of form now, a bit of confidence. Let's see what we do tomorrow. Let's see. But just, if we get beat, it's no problem.
I don't think we're going to the match as favourites, Magpie, if I'm being really honest. I'm obviously hoping we can pull something out of the bag, because we always hope, eh?
Definitely, but I think the lack of midfielders and the pace, I think pace is what's killed us in a lot of games. Can I just, the guy Ian was talking a minute ago, he talked about all these young players, Barry Ferguson and Ian Gerrard. Well, Barry Ferguson and Ian Gerrard were playing with Graham Souness alongside them, and Ray Wilkins, and world-class players, guys that have been world-class players. This is a different Rangers, bringing on boys into this without. We don't have any quality players, top quality players like Souness a lot just now. So, but I agree with you. I think our hands have been. We've got to let the guys. I firmly believe in giving youth a chance, but sometimes this could break a boy. You know, but.
See, my way of thinking about that is you're bringing in a lot of foreign players, right? Even if it's just done in England. They don't understand this team and the type of football we play. If you're bringing up the boys through the B team and that, and they're good enough to get into the first team, or if you think they know how Scottish football's played, they know what this club means to them. They know how to play this game of football up here. They know how to get in and fight for the club and not just say, right, I'm just going to play the way I'm playing and take the wages at the end of the week. These guys have got it and brought it up in their blood, playing for their youth teams. Whereas you're bringing
I know what you're saying, but would you say the Dundee game and the cup game before it that any of these guys really showed, and that's a much lesser quality than anything they're going to play tomorrow?
Honestly, actually the games I've seen so far this season have been mince, and that's the league, Europe, everything. But that Aberdeen game was something was really something different. I mean, they played the way they want. We wanted the way to play, and I just hope that's the kick on that they're going to get now and play like that.
Oh no, we're all the same boat. We're all hoping that, mate. We're all hoping that.
Aye.
Going back to the European thing, sorry. See, I looked at some of the results the other night, right? The team that we beat last year in the semi-final beat Real Madrid. So I mean, and there's been a few teams that we've beaten under Gerrard.
How did Dortmund go on?
Well, that's what I'm saying. A few teams that we've played for beaten teams that But as I said, we drew twice with Villarreal. They went and won the Europa League the next year. They beat Man United in the final, and we've struggled. So we have had good results. This team is decimated with injuries, and it's an aging team. It's the end of this team. I think we all agree on that. This is the end of this team. So we do. What bothers me, mate, is see when you've got any experts or any even the Ali McCoys, you want them to tell people down in England, look, this team have got 18 players or 12 players who are injured, right? This team's been decimated. This team have got, but they don't. You would think we were going up with the same squad that played in the final last year, with the same team and playing every game. No team that's got a shortage of money or a shortage of squad players as we have would be able to compete in that Champions League. Now, I dare say, Southside, I agree with him. I don't think we would have got through that group, but I'll tell you one thing, I don't think we'd be taking it. If we had a full, fit 11 players with the Lawrence and that in there, that mobility and stuff like that, I don't think we'd have been taking downs like that. We were playing all right up against Liverpool till Golson and Jack went off. And there's Jack is another steady influence. He's an important player for us. So I do think we might have lost a couple of games, but I think we got a couple of points in about
9 games in 18 months, Magpie, Brian Jack.
I know, it's a shame. Isn't that a shame? It never happens to a person that's like, you can deal with it. Do you know what I mean? And as I say, Davis, to me, Davis should be in the Hall of Fame at Rangers for what he's achieved. I really do.
Ben started.
Steve Davis, you don't find out. But Steve Davis has been absolute a credit to our club, mate. I'd love to see him in the coaching staff in some role. I really would.
Fantastic football player, mate. But obviously the sands of time wait for no man, as you well know, Magpie. You're into your early 30s,
I know, and I'm still older than you, Ox, as well, man. It's terrible, you in your 20s.
Well, I just say one more thing before we go. I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat down below that are chat away. Just a big hi to them all, and I'll let you go on with the show. And thanks for letting us on again.
Always good to hear.
Right, see you later. Cheerio, Magpie.
See you later.
I hope Ian's right, Billy. I hope he's right. It's a chink, the league form. I think that's what we're all hoping, and it's not just a one-off. We're just looking for a level of consistency of performance, because we know if we get the performances, we'll get the results.
Well, listen, that's right, entirely correct, mate. I mean, obviously, we dropped points against Livingston. We didn't start the game properly, and we huffed and puffed through that game, mate. But other than that, all right, we've beat Hearts, and we beat the Sheep there at the weekend when we went a goal down again, mate. We showed a lot of character to come back, because I heard the girls round about me sitting in the stand on Saturday, mate. The boys, a couple of boys, like, here we go again, eh? But we showed a lot of character again, to come back for 1-0 down again, 2-1 up at half time, mate. So listen, hopefully that's the wee chink, the brightness that we're wanting to see, mate, and we can start to kick on and get a wee run going in the league, mate, because it can only breed confidence and success, mate. But listen, Europe has always got to be a bridge too far type thing this season, mate. But the bread and butters is the league, mate. And if we go and kick on now, mate, and take that performance into St Johnstone, obviously we'll get the game tomorrow night. But if we take that performance into St Johnstone, mate, and start building on that, then it can only be good for us, and it's especially in the League Hawks.
Aye, obviously, as the season goes on, we are going to need these players back Southside, because we are down to the bones, aren't we?
Well, as I was saying, I mean, a couple of people's been on and saying, Lowry's fit, fling him in, and if McCann, fling him in, right, you get the fact that it's really a nothing game apart from we would like the 3 points and get a win on the board. Realistically, we look at it, we're down to the bare bones. We're already flinging a young boy in Liam King, who's doing his best, been exposed a couple of times in Europe, but at the end of the day, he's a young boy and we'll accept that he'll make mistakes. But he's learning, and it's great to see him playing for Rangers and he's getting the chance in the Champions League. So that's a big effort for that boy. And then, so you find Charlie McCann and say tomorrow, that would just be an act to give him a bit of experience, but it'll go overrun. We're going to put Stephen Davis in there, we expect, who's getting the legs, and we're trying to find another player that we could put in there that we think we could do it, could run about a bit, and we've come up with either Glenn Kamara. I would play Tillman tomorrow, you wouldn't. I would play Tillman. I'd want Sakala and Kent, because at one point I want them to try and go on the ball and get it forward, and let's try and run at them, because we don't want to give them all the possession or they'll just keep coming at us in waves, and that's what we don't want. So tomorrow I just want us to go out, put up a good performance and see where it takes us, and if we're really lucky on the night, my heart will always tell me that we can win, but I know what we're up against tomorrow, and it's a quality team.
We're being realistic, Bridgeman. You know, we know it's not going to be a given, but you want us to come out and compete. But a lot you get the result, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to, well, obviously, like most of us, and most of the particular guys that I've seen Rangers when we were a really good squad and lots of good players round about them, and people wanted to come and play. I mean, real professional players in that sense. No disrespect to the guys that are at Rangers are now, to a certain extent. They've known that some of them aren't quite the real thing, and that's it's not their fault, but other ones who can play and should be playing don't seem to be wanting to play. And if we can get those negative parts there clicked round to a wee bit positive, who knows? Who knows what can happen?
See when you say that, Bridge, see this group of players in the last 4 years, their consistency has been slightly the best that Rangers have ever had in Europe.
In all probability, yes. Oh, certainly in Europe. Excuse me, certainly in Europe, but the level in Europe, this season, the level in Europe's shot sky high, and up maybe 10 levels. And I take my hat off to the Rangers for the times that they did try during it. But it's been sometimes it's been horrible to watch for us, particularly that second half against Liverpool. I mean, every single goal.
It's a hangover. It's killing. It's a hangover. It's killing people. You know, but I know. Listen, they have a level of consistency. Maybe that's was exaggerating the step up for us, if you like, Southside. Then Magpie.
Aye, because we're having a level of consistency in the Europa League.
Aye.
So aye.
Results quite regular, didn't we?
Aye, under. I said to you on here before, under Stevie G, when you were going away to watch Rangers, you actually believed that you could probably win. You were going to win. No, we had a chance. We had a system. We played well in Europe, but we were up against it. We needed 11 players to play on the night. You can't go and play with passengers in Europe. It's just the new for this game. But I mean, it's a step up in the Champions League, and anybody that doesn't think it isn't, then and like you said, Magpie, you can be organised in that, and you can do all right in certain groups. But I defy you to tell me a couple of teams that you might have been talking about that have been in our group. And I just think that result against Liverpool, it just tipped a lot of people over the edge, and it was a blow to the players that took that down on the park. And it was a blow for us leaving the stadium. But I just think that was the catalyst at the time. It just sent a lot of people over the edge, and then you get all the keyboard warriors out there in social media just battering out whatever they want. They probably weren't even at the game, but I could tell you all about the Glasgow Rangers and just batter it out. So I just think at the time, this squad's good enough to win this league no matter what. Tomorrow night, we group there, hopefully we'll get the win, and hopefully the team will play well. And if we get beat, then hopefully don't get beat by much. But I'm hoping we win tomorrow night. And if we certainly do that, that'll give us a whole lot of confidence throughout that squad to take it into Sunday against St Johnstone, regardless, because that's our bread and butter.
I love it. When you go, Magpie.
I love the confidence. I do, but lads, and I really do, and I appreciate that. I mean, but
I don't know.
We beat Hearts. We beat Hearts 4-0, right? We beat Hearts 4-0, and we thought we'd kick on for then, and we dropped points to Livingston. I don't see. We've got this squad. Some of the players that have been there for a long time, like Taff, are serial bottlers. Basically, they chuck it. They can easily follow it again. We've seen it the second half of Stevie G's first season, and it's happened on a number of occasions. And I think it's a confidence thing. When the heads go down, I don't think Gio's a man that can get people's heads up if they're down. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's like, for instance, a Jock Wallace type that would put arses in the dressing room, or a Walter Smith who Alan McCoy said used to grab people with the throat that people never seen, that kind of things. And I just think that basically he's just too nice a man for the Rangers. And I love Gio as a player, and I respect everything he's done. But this Rangers team just now, I don't think we've got the squad if they're injured to win the league. I'm going to be realistic, and I hate to say it. I remember the 4-0 game. They ran the legs up as 4-0. They were 3-0 up. It was a carbon copy. I just don't see, without 11 top players on that team, fit players.
Anyway,
I think Ken will be away. I think and I think Morelos might be away. So that's another two.
You may be right, Magpie. Anyway, we'll be...
Sorry, buddy.
We'll start. Popped in.
Evening, Ox. Evening, rest of the panel. I can just listen to you guys. Listen, there was nobody more overjoyed on Saturday than myself. But I wish you would stop coming away with this rubbish about a squad. We do not have a squad of players anywhere near good enough for our own league, never mind Europe. Now, you need to stop talking about players that are out injured. You tell me the players that are out injured that make a massive difference to our midfield. I'll give you one, Lawrence, and he hasn't even played a lot of football for us. Everybody else in our squad makes no difference to our midfield at all. And that's our engine room. You need to get this right, guys. For the start of the season, I've been on here time and time again. It's took you up until the last couple of weeks before you have all admitted, basically, that we don't have an engine room in the middle of the park. Our manager didn't bring in the right players, whether it was him or whether it was Ross Wilson. We have no legs in the middle of the park.
Are you telling me that me and Blue Star and Billy and that watch again lives don't know what's wrong with your team, Blue Star?
Well, you weren't saying it up to a couple of weeks ago, Hawks. That's my point. You kept saying we've got players in the squad and we're still good enough to win the league. No, we're not. That team across the city would run out of the tap as tomorrow again. Make no mistake about it. We need players, and they need players brought in January. That's up to our board to find the finance. We need at least 2 midfielders with legs. That's fact. Absolute fact. The only reason we won on Saturday was because he played Sands in there basically for the first time along with Lindstrom.
You told me on Friday night the fact was that we would play Davis in Arfield. That was fact.
That's right, because that's what he's been doing time and time again. That's the first time he didn't.
You said that was fact and that was going to happen, and it didn't.
Well, all right. You tell me when we played good against Celtic under Gio.
We have their park for the semi-final.
Correct. So it's a league we're all on about, because it's not about Europe. That's already gone. Yes, we want to put in a performance tomorrow night and hopefully try and get a win. But it's very, very unlikely with what he's going to be played again, because we've no Lindstrom and we've no Sands in the middle of the park, and they gave us a wee bit of pace by pushing forward. The players he's bringing in tomorrow night haven't got that. So in the league come January, players that are out injured are not going to make any difference to our midfield. That's fact. We've only got one, and that's Lawrence. Nobody else has any pace, and that's what's killing us.
Billy?
Sorry. Very quickly, just see that same team, that midfield for two. I said it's an aging squad, and I did say, Blue Star, I don't think we'll win the league. I did say that. I never said we were going to win the league. But you remember, see the only thing about 2 years ago, 2-3 years ago, Gerrard, the only players missing for that midfield, Cerebral. They weren't. Yeah, it's an aging midfield. It's an aging midfield. So Kamara and Davies and that were younger. Arfield was making runs. Kamara was playing well. Kamara's not interested just now. Kent's not interested just now. We've got no outball. and then like that just
most of our players shot their boat last season. That was them hitting their heights, and they've regressed.
You're right.
You need new players in.
You're right, mate.
Aye, Ox. Listen, mate, I'll tell you something now, right? I can hear the debate about what we've got and what we've not got. See, the bottom line here is, right, let's forget Europe. We keep hearing this, we've not done this, we've not done that. Rangers 5 last league games, right? Out of possible 15 points, we've took 13, right? And we've scored 15 goals and conceded 2. Right, that's what we've done.
Right, and we're lying 4 points behind. Why?
Yes. Right. Listen, I'll throw one at you, Blue Star. Was it the team or individual errors that cost us at Parkhead when Celtic beat us the last time?
Everything, mate. It was everything.
No.
They beat us with pace and errors. Of course they did. Every goal's an error.
No, they did not. Celtic had...
They didn't beat us with pace.
No, they didn't. That Celtic had 67% of the football that they played against Rangers were long balls in behind us, and they had the Rangers turning. They never beat us with pace.
That's right, because they were running at us. We couldn't run at them. We've not got the build up. We've not got the pace to run at them.
This debate will run and run. This debate will run and run. Last word of the evening for your good south side.
Oh my God. Listen, we've been beat with them before and we've still went on and won the league. Blue Star, do you know what? I still think we have got a squad that's good enough. We can't buy a player and get them in before we play them because it's the 2nd of January, so I don't think that's going to happen. If we get a Tom Lawrence back and if we get trying to think of somebody else that was out injured there, if we get him back, I think anyway, but if we can get him back in the squad and we can start just getting a level of consistency of playing, then who says we can't beat them in 2nd of January at Ibrox? That's what I don't get. I know the last performance, you can judge it on that.
Flag, yeah.
What?
They just put up the white flag, you know?
No,
and I'll tell you another thing. They want to be proved right all the time. It's easy to be negative than be proved right, yeah?
Well, we get robbed at Easter Road and we didn't turn up at Ibrox in the game and we've been beat once with them and it's a league. Right, so the way I see it is it's game on. I don't know, we've just come off a good performance and we're thinking, we can't do this and we can't do that. Of course we can. You know, we're not going to...
Tell tomorrow night outside, you bring up the platitudes, right?
Well, see, tomorrow night it's a different kettle of fish, but tomorrow, mate, no, we're up against Ajax, we've not got a strong midfield, we're playing players with no legs, as we know. I mean, I'm here every week, Blue Star. I know the team don't have legs, but you're going to have to play probably Tillman tomorrow. He's only 20 years of age and we're sticking him out here in the Champions League, what we've had today. A young boy, we're playing a young boy at centre-back. We're going to have to play Sands in beside him. It's going to be a makeshift team. We know that. My heart will tell us I want us to win. We probably won't. But at the end of the day, we're at home and we're in the Champions League. And if we can get 3 points, it's good. It gets us something out of it. And at the end of the day, we know what we're up against, a quality team that's in the Champions League nearly every year. So, but the league, Blue Star, no, we can win this no matter how they're playing across the city. They'll not win every game to the end of the season. And you might say we'll know, but we just need to look after ourselves. And at the moment, it's 4 points. And I'm hoping that we'll get it back pretty shortly. And then hopefully we'll get a couple of extra players back. That'll make the difference to our team. And if we can add a couple in January, all the better.
All right. Last word of the night, Bridgeman. He's talking to himself.
Right. Sorry, guys. It's tomorrow night, the biggest game of the season. I just wish Rangers all the best.
It's the biggest game of the week, Bridge, if I'm being honest.
Biggest game of the season, 100%. Yeah, biggest game of the week, but huge game. A good chance possible chance for Rangers to show something. But everybody that supports Rangers, we have our doubts. But we just want them to come out, play the way they can. If they get a goal, doors can open. Play together. A day similar play they had on Saturday. and you just never know. If you take a goal after that Ajax team, you may not like it. Everybody keep it going to the Rangers.
Cheers, mate. Thanks to Bobby. Thanks to Magpie, Urine, and of course the one and only Boy Star, and to Billy. Southside and the legend that is the Bridge for taking part in the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Well, we'll be back tomorrow night with a pre-match show building up to hopefully a Rangers victory at Ibrox. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Underneath the Glasgow lights and narrow streets are blue and white. They lead me to a place where I belong. And walking there I hear a sound of all the people loud and proud. Their voices come together in a song. No matter what may come, we'll always follow on. We'll always follow on. We've had our darkest days, now it's our time again. The writing's on the wall. Now you got giants at your feet. You hear the call of history. You gave us something to believe. We follow you, so make us dream. Now make us dream. Now make us dream. Travel far and wide to fly the flag and fly it high for all the ones we've lost along the way. To absent friends who raise a glass and everything that's come to pass has paved the road to lead us to this day. No matter what may come, we'll always follow on. We'll always follow on. We've had our darkest days, now it's our time again. The writing's on the wall. Now you got giants at your feet. You hear the call of history. You gave us something to believe. We follow you, so make us dream. Now make us dream. Now make us dream.